This conference will now be recorded.
Craft the contracts, and then your contracts manager is coming over top to ensure
That-
that your T's and C's are there, that, everything that
So,
aligns up. So he
when I-
doesn't necessarily have to draft it from beginning
No.
to end, but he needs to be ultimately responsible for the end product and what happens post.
So when I worked at the beach, the scope was provided by the department that was overseeing, that was going to be asking the work or doing the work. The contracts manager made sure they met all of the requirements as part of the contract, insurance, W-9, PO, because the contracts manager doesn't know the nuts and bolts of the plants that are being installed on Griffin. And
So he's at the end of the contract part.
Yeah.
So that's my
So
question.
I guess the question is he operating as it was intended by
Yes.
design, by job roles?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, nothing else in,
Is there anything on for the agenda management that you guys would like for us to work on? I think we've tried to update some of these dates on here and future dates and what we anticipate. We'll have to work with Tony on getting some of those deadlines in place. But if there's anything that the board would like us to work on for a future date, please.
Are we
This
on
is-
schedule for the lighting next steps?
FPL.
FPL?
It's sitting at an FPL's. I can't say because their timeline was 6 to 12 weeks. So it's.
But we haven't heard anything from them. They're just doing their thing.
Correct.
Okay.
all right.
That-
So
that's-
we're gonna go to
that's
supervisor.
loosely said.
Yeah, we just got ours.
What?
Because we did the same thing. We just on the HOA side, he just sent us our plans.
Okay.
FPL.
Mhm.
I will let you know. I sent a nastygram to FPL based on the comments from the last board meeting and lack of response from individual communities as well as district projects, and I'm told it went up the chain. So
Okay.
The other thing that I don't see on here, and I'm not sure exactly where we left it, is our sidewalk use policy from the county.
Golf carts.
Golf cart.
The
I've
golf-
got that on my.
the
deal.
golf cart policy is here and it's
I just
under
don't see it.
administration.
Have we heard
Oh,
anything
golf
back from the
cart
county?
Oh, okay.
Because I got a bunch
To
of
be
people
decided.
asking that question, what to do.
Well,
I have not.
I think what's happening is no one is following what they're supposed to be following, because we haven't been following that for as long as I know. I mean, no one's citing any citations. I mean, people are still driving on the sidewalk like they did forever. So, and I mean, if there's no enforcement on it, I guess the county doesn't care.
I haven't heard back from the county.
Okay.
Tony, have you heard back?
Not a word.
We need an answer.
Okay, well, we can follow up.
All right, so supervisor comments. I'll start with Carol.
Yes, I just had one question for Tony. Did you have a chance to look at the properties that the two Pelican Preserve monuments at Tree Line and Colonial are at?
Yes,
And to determine if there's any easements or anything that would prevent it from being sold?
I haven't looked at the bond documents yet,
Okay,
but that's what I'll be doing. As far as any covenants, I quickly looked at the deed. I did not see any restrictions in the deed.
okay.
I'll double check that. And I did drive by to see where they are. You're right. As far, I think the board could legitimately make a determination that those are surplus. But, so I will have that report for the next board meeting.
Okay, thank you. On the 19th.
Yes.
Nothing for me.
Ed?
Yeah, a couple of things. I'm catching hell on streetlights over there in Gateway Greens. You got at least 8 lights out on
Yeah.
Gateway Greens, I'm sorry, on West Links and Gateway Greens Drive. We got the one that the hurricane knocked down, but we got lights all the way down West Links that are not working. It's an electrical issue, and I don't know what we're waiting on other than we got to get somebody in there to replace the electrical. So that's a hot one. Golf carts, you just talked about that. Legal. We need to be getting Tony on the, I don't know if we initiated or what we have to do, but we have got to get that mess at Stony Brook taken care of with those roads dedicated in LIPA and property appraisal to US Homes. What do we need to do?
We've had more, in fact, recently today, we had some emails back and forth between Charles Mann, representing WCILNR, US Homes, whatever entity you want to call, about getting the quitclaim deeds to the district for those roads.
Okay, will that be inclusive of a legal description? I'm assuming it would.
They're platted tracks.
Platted
They are
tracks.
platted tracks.
So then if we have that, unlike when we did Gateway Boulevard, we had to do a legal description. We didn't have platted tracks for it.
That legal description, it was a meets and bounds legal description for, if I recall correctly, because there were multiple segments of Gateway Boulevard. And that required a survey. The county required a survey. They wanted to know where all the infrastructure was. I don't know if Lee County will, or if you, the roads already been, we've accepted an assignment of the dedications of those roads.
But
So we
those-
are the owners and operators of the road. The fee simple is with another entity, but we own the road.
We're of the assumption that the description in the property appraisals are one and the same with the right of way that we own.
It should be.
Should
I mean, yeah, again, because what was assigned were the tracks on the plat.
Okay.
The dedication of the roads, of those
I
tracks
just
as
want to make sure
roads.
that we get that taken care of.
Yes, sir.
That's not good, sitting there having them own that stuff. Or having it on.
Yeah, we've
that,
had,
right.
again, recently communication today with Charles about that. I think they're eager to also take care of that.
I have a question, Ed. So would it be, so I know some ponds on Stony Brook are still owned by US Homes as well.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
You're talking about roads.
Roads. Oh, the
Roads.
I'm talking
ponds.
about ponds.
Oh, the ponds.
So, yeah, I think
Oh, that's
there's,
another issue.
so there's like 3 or 4 there.
Well, again, the fee simple ownership is with them, but they're dedicated as water management drainage tracks and easements to the district. So we own the dominant estate. If the district wants to have full ownership in fee simple, I'm sure they would be happy to give them to the district.
'Cause I think we kind of started that back in
Yes.
2015 for the ones that we identified at that time, and I think there were 13 of them, getting it back on.
We can
on
put
for
that
us.
in the list with them.
So I know there's some in Stony Brooks, quite a lot in Hampton Park, so there are ponds out there.
This is that issue of them still having dedication of ponds, portions of ponds.
Fee
all
simple
of ponds.
ownership. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy to
Yeah.
convey, that way they have no liability. Right now, if somebody was to slip and fall and drown in a lake, they would come after 2 parties. The district is the owner operator and the underlying fee simple owner. So we'll put that on the list with Charles.
The next one is the issue with the emergency road getting in there. And I think you were going to get somebody with bush hog, get in there and get that cleaned up to make that just looks horrible up there. If we can just take all of those exotics and everything that's in that FPL right away, right up to Prado's line, take all that out. I'd like to see that just take down flat.
We've got pricing, I
Looks
believe,
horrible.
from Mainscape to do that. I don't know that we have we'll report back in Keith's monthly report.
Okay.
Well, while we're on that, before you go on, where are we with the finalization of that construction? Is all the
Fence
gates are in now, everything's done?
gates are in. We're waiting on FPL for some electrical. The gates are not. They're not functioning.
both?
They're just up.
Oh,
Right,
The
Keith.
second gate's now installed?
Yes.
Do we have an entry system in place?
No, because we don't have power yet. We're waiting on FPL. We got a
Okay, that's what I
boilerplate
wanted to
FPL response back that they're inundated and
know. Okay. And Keith, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the gate on the Prado side with the damage occurred.
Yeah, Keith Riddle, Gateway Public Works Director. Yes, the gate latch is broken, just the latch, and that will be non-existent once the controller's in place. So it's really not a big issue.
Okay. And did you see the damage on the hinge portion?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring. You
I'm
talking about?
talking the latches in the center.
Yeah, the
That,
hinge itself.
that
No,
was
I didn't-
destroyed. But the gate itself was damaged in 2 locations.
I didn't see
Would
that.
somebody drive through it or?
try
I don't know
to.
how they did it. It looked like forks hit, Hilo forks or something. It's up high.
I didn't see that.
But there's two specific locations where it's damaged, other than the latch.
We'll look into it.
Yep.
Anything else, Ed?
Yeah, one more. We got a email, our HOA got an email from Hampton Park. And we talked to Mainscape. Are you guys aware of this issue with the floor tam?
The
Yes,
sugar cane.
the
Sugarcane mosaic?
Mosaic issue, yeah.
What are we doing?
But
We're putting down
What's-
sod like
what's the
getting
issue?
snow
It's
tomorrow.
a virus that attacks
It's
floor
a
tam.
virus that's not
Oh, yeah.
curable or something, and
So
they
Jen-
banned any more
Yeah.
floor tam over there.
There's nothing you can do about it except remove the sod and replace it. There's no treatment or anything for it.
That's what I heard.
They've really gotten in front of it though. If you go back there, they're ripping sod out all over the place.
Well, your problem is if you've got a mower that's mowing someplace that's got the,
And then they come into your
you're
neighborhood.
gonna bring it right back in.
Bring it back.
Right.
So the only thing you could do is to take
We
and
have-
make sure that every mower that
Gotta
enters your
quarantine.
community is
Yeah.
cleaned.
Right.
And not let the mowers into the community, landscapers in unless they got clean equipment.
Yeah, they gotta work, they have the private mowing.
We're
companies,
thinking
you know.
about that.
Yeah.
And that'll upset the apple cart because we got 85 mowers
Maybe they have.
and you know they clean them. Ha, ha.
We should,
Yeah.
you know, and they need to get a card that shows that they're clean,
A stamp.
and then
Horticultural card, inspection card.
Well,
So
they have to
anyway-
clean in between yards, like if they do more yours, then when you're doing
Well, if they
yours, then they have to clean it and do. We had this issue.
I'd feel safer if they were internal, going from yard to yard and started clean within. But to come in from the outside, that's a problem. But I just wanted to make sure that we were aware of this problem with this floor tam.
Yeah, as soon as you told me, I told Keith and he relayed it to Jim, so we want to make sure we get ahead of it as well. So thank you for keeping us in the loop.
That's it.
Mr. Tinkle, I have a quick question for you on the lights that you're witnessing out. First I've heard of it, and we thought we really were pretty
You go
much
down
done.
West Links and
West
Gateway
Links.
Greens, you'll see more yellow tied a ribbon around an old dead FPL light or pole. They're up and down the street and it's
Yeah.
dark.
We
at
had
night.
almost everything fixed, and I don't know what's going on. There must be
It's
something,
still
yeah.
underground.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all.
All right, so I just have two things. So for the air, go ahead, Bob.
Are you gonna go last? That's
Oh,
what-
because you were
were going
talking
down the-
before, so that's why. Go ahead, Bob. You get mine.
No, well, I was glad to hear about the back gate and making progress. Informationally, we held the first safety and security work group meeting in Pelican yesterday. There were about 10 or 11 people that came to it. And it went well as far as I know. We still got to do some things with microphones, but it was a good meeting. I had two questions. One about the Weir 38. I was hoping Steven would tell us that before he left, but he did the capital improvement. But do we know if the construction is still going to be started?
It's out to bid. We're waiting
Oh,
on.
it's out to bid.
It's
We
still
haven't
out
got
to
an
bid.
answer.
The
Okay.
bids are due this month and whatever that recommendation will come in front of the board. I think we were shooting for early February.
This is all of the weirs?
Yes, sir.
Great.
The 38 is part of it. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm focused on. Okay, that's all I have. Sorry.
All
Madam
right.
Chairman.
So from the items that we have identified that Mainscape was doing maintenance and we're not anymore, my only question is, have we notified the parties that are responsible and letting them know, hey, we were maintaining this and now we're not, and
We're-
it was up to you from the beginning?
As
So I just noticed like the main area by Daniels, the entire area, it's looking really rough.
as part of the review, we will be notifying, and I know, for instance, Stony Brook, HOA was one that we discussed with them, and they said, hey, can you give us, 30 days before you flip the switch? So that way they could get with their company and coordinate that, and we said, absolutely, we'll coordinate that. So, yes, for any ones that we will be cutting ties with, we will notify whomever we can notify.
Okay, and then the FEMA pickup, any follow-up?
Commercial is bad.
The county approved commercial 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. We'll follow up again this week. I noticed the same with Gateway Boulevard. So we'll follow up and we'll let you know.
Yeah, West Links and Commerce Lakes.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And
And in
I
fact,
feel like it's
there's
getting
one
bigger.
stick,
It's-
there is a
It's getting
6-inch diameter tree stump sticking, or not stump, branch sticking out right as you go out Commonwealth Drive onto Daniels, that somebody's gonna put a crease right down the side of their car.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
follow up
dangerous.
again tomorrow with Amanda.
So then what is if we, by the next meeting, if we don't see pickup happen on Gateway Boulevard, Griffin and all those other areas, have a revised cost for our guy to do it? Because it's a lot more now than when he gave us that bid.
We would have to get a revised cost, but ultimately I'd turn to the county DOT and ask them to come pick it up. It's their responsibility.
They told me that the 3 huge stumps in our community, which is the only thing that's left, would be picked up this week.
Okay.
This week. We've got a day left.
I mean, the grass is just horrible. Okay. That's it. That's all I have.
Okay.
Anything else?
Motion to
I
adjourn.
move to adjourn.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.